right. Now, I just heard a video, and I can't find it right now, but I was watching it on Nolan's videos, and I'm just not sure which one it is, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And I really have short of patience right now. But it was something to the effect that Jonathan Kleck was saying something about he took those pictures because he was under suspicion that she was a witch, that Kathy Edge was a witch. And so this is why he did what he did. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't, it doesn't make sense to the point where why would you put the blanket in the middle of the bed like this and set it up the way you did, making it look like it was in the center of the bed for your eyes to focus in on. It's exactly what you did here. It was Kat that did this. No, it was Kat the one that took the pictures without Kathy's knowing. And it was only afterwards did she say anything about the pictures while she was still on the phone. And Kathy hears, I'll send you the pics. This was trespassing. You're taking something that's not even yours and running away with your wild imagination and how you're going to put it all together. You weren't doing it for the benefit for anybody's salvation or your own. This was to maim. This was to hurt. This is breaking down. And it was very upsetting when I found out that this here, what you did with this picture, with the eyeball and everything, I'm not going to show it, but the eyeball, right? I didn't know until Karen had sent me this thing here and saying that it was the Leviathan in the picture that you were showing. And I didn't even know what the Leviathan was. I had to look that up. And I was reading this. I was like, I had to put it right together. It took time with this verse. I really did. I went right into this verse. I wouldn't look up. Okay. And so when I read this, I was just amazed by it. And I didn't know what to do, but I knew that it was important. I just knew it was important. So I knew, don't stifle and just keep going, just keep moving. So I started to, just kind of play around with the video like I was just scrolling. And then I saw something that caught me, and it was CERN. And I hadn't heard CERN in a while. It kind of fell away. So I punched in CERN because it had Detroit. It had something to do with Detroit. So when I did that, I was just, again, amazed at what was in front of me. And I know there's people that are still a little confused about where I'm going with everything. Well, so am I, because I'm stepping out in my faith, and I did not know, for the life of me, know that I was going to end up in the Ubin period and going in and learning about, understanding more about Nimrod and who Nimrod was with the bloodline. I had no idea that I would be there. And it was what took me there, and then I started to see this orb, this sphere that they were talking about, that I started to see, and then I started to realize that it was all around Kleck, but Kleck wasn't really saying anything about it. Why is it following him around? All of his art follows him around, but so did this, and it was a golden one that he started off with the 4 pictures down. The 4 frames were put down, and then you got the gold globe right there and the red trunk tree. Oh yeah, when I found that, no, there was something really serious going on here. So I left that, and I started looking at the figurines, which brought me to the Ubin period, because of what I truly believe the thing that was looking at me through the TV on CNN was this ornament, this thing that I was looking at. I haven't proven, and I don't know for sure, but I feel very strongly about it. And that's what brought me to Babel, the Tower of Babel, and to read and understand what was happening at the time. I was absolutely amazed at what I was reading, considering they figured that Nimrod was about 200 years old and Abraham was about 43 at the time of the Tower of Babel. Crazy, you know? So again, I'm looking at these spheres, these orbs, by my own experience with one floating in the middle of the doorway, the red. I mean, it's all there. I mean, it was all there. So anyway, I'm learning all of this, okay, within the last month or so, a crash course, and I'm trying to retain what's coming in. So I'm looking at this and I'm absolutely amazed. And then I'm pondering around, and this is the video, the first video that I see, okay?
Now, what do you suppose is going on out there?
Oh, is that what?
Scientology building, Tom Cruise, baby. Now, what's this? Pow. And what's this? I'm about to explain why this is a big deal. Just look at it. Look at it. This is by design. It's by design. Giant portal for the local principalities. Now, if you saw my last video, you know about the stones and what I mentioned about the rituals. Look what it's called. Transcending. Come on, guys. Really? If you can't, I don't even, do I have to explain this? Now, I actually came here before and I prayed standing here. I'm gonna show you. Right there. You know what happened? My feet started burning when I saw, because I was praying against this thing. But look, watch this. Look at this. Look at his hands.
There, you got the orb right there. Look at that, the sphere. The
now,
earth.
I know they're going to tell you that it's supposed to represent certain things, but all this stuff has spiritual symbology to it. And all these stones, it's a channel energy. It's a big part of a big old ritual.
Okay, I'm not sure if I just did this or not. Okay, I'm just going to do it just in case. I'm just going to explain this one more time. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we have the Hearts Plaza. This is, again, where we've got the pyramids. We've got the Tower of Babel. I was so surprised to see this tower sitting there after everything that I've got, learned over the last month or so with the crash course. And again, this would represent Genesis 10:10. This is, again, the beginning. This is the first kingdom of Nimrod. Okay, so Genesis 10:10. And it's sitting right there in Hearts Plaza. And again, Hearts Plaza is the heart. Again, is Jonathan Kleck's portal. Remember his portal? Calls it the heart, the heartbeat. Yeah. And who has the heart problem? So again, we've got the Tower of Babel. Okay. This again is the portal. These are the stones that they're, for me it was a symbolism of the stones that they are finding all over the place in all different sizes and all over the place. And some they open up and they're finding these things and the stuff inside that is a material that's not natural. They don't know where it's coming from. They don't believe it's it's from Earth or humans. Okay, it's just not natural. So it's really been a big surprise for the ancient archaeologists that are finding these things. So again, these stones are telling a story. Okay, again, the heart of Detroit, the Heart Plaza. This is the pyramids. Again, we have Egypt. Okay, they've got Egypt sitting right there. That's the portal. Again, this is the ladder. Okay, this is a ladder. I'm going to explain that in a minute here. Here we go. A sacred symbol of Nuit was the ladder to heaven. Nuit. Remember the name Nuit, because I'll be talking about a few things here, and Nuit sounds really familiar. Okay, so Nuit was the ladder to heaven. Okay, and this was used by Osiris to enter the heaven skies. Okay, seen that with Clark, right? Yeah. Again, this is showing the Tower of Babel. And I didn't realize that. I mean, I thought that Nimrod, they were saying that must have been about 200 years old, and Abraham was about 48 at the time of the Tower of Babel. Here it is, gateway to the gods, right here. You can see the swirl going up, and they've got the swirl going up here. Okay. Again. All right. So I'm going down and I see this, but there's another video out there, and this video was a little longer than the one I just showed you. It was about 4 minutes, and he talks about this 5-star, and he goes on top of the star he's got Canada, and beside it he's got evil Egypt. And I didn't get into it right away because I went right away to find out where this area was, and I found the map, and I go to the map and I'm looking around to see what's going on here, and I do a little bit of investigating about what I'm looking at here, and what do I see? But I see Labrador Sea. I couldn't believe it when I looked at this, because this was explaining to me the lab that I saw in the cloud when I took the picture in 2015. It was the first thing I thought of. I thought, here it is. This was a place. Was a sign, but it was a place. This is Labrador Sea. And again, I really was having a hard time saying, okay, is it really this? Am I here? And then I heard invisible waters. And I went, the clouds, right? The clouds of the dog in the picture that I took, invisible waters. So to me, now the mystery is solved for me when it was concerning this dog, that I felt like, why am I seeing this dog? And I was really concerned. And there was this, the evil dog. And then there were, and I, what's my connection? Why would I take a picture of a dog in the cloud like this, and it being a lab? Then the next question was with Christopher Trailer, when he had taken the star and he pulls out this white lab. It was, I've showed it to you, you've seen it, you're going to see it again. But again, he pulls this lab right out. And I'm going to go further with this. But again, Labrador Sea. This was a location. The dog, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't care less if there was another dog thrown in my way, But yeah, this is what I believe the dog was all about. Even with Gene, when Gene did the parachute, one-legged man, the blind man, I was really pushed to see this video of Gene's when I was busy looking into the valley and understanding my vision. And so I didn't want to be distracted, but when I did look over, I didn't really see anything at first other than, Gene did another great job. And that's when I had time, and I went back to the video and I looked, and I knew something was going on here. And the first thing I see is this lab. So I knew that there was something I needed to understand, and again, to sit up, because again, Gene was talking, or he mentioned to me something about the moon dog, and then I looked into it, and there was the sun dog, and then there was the mocking dog, and I'm thinking, what is, like, really? Okay, so again, when I ended up looking at this and going straight to the top of the star to see what was there, to say that it was Canada that was at the top, and then I saw the Lab Sea. That still was not enough for me, but I'll get into that again, because I still did more research in Labrador Sea, and I did more research within the star with the lab that Christopher had pulled out. Okay, so anyway, I was looking for the longer vision of that video, and I can't find it anywhere where they had this here as a globe, like it was where he had actually, you could see it. You know, I don't think, I don't know. It's the one we just, oh, here maybe. This might give a little bit of evidence what I'm trying to say here. But again, this was like a globe, all right? And up on the top, it was Nineveh. Now, Nineveh, okay? And there's more to this, all right? But I found this here. And then it had the octagonal shape along with the star inside of it. Okay, now this is Detroit here. This is what the plans were for Detroit. And this is the Chrysler Building, the star. Okay, but anyway, this is really important here, okay, where I was led to. And that was Labrador Sea. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Okay, look at this. Okay, so there, look at that. What's that? Huh? What's that? The V's. And then you got the ring right on top of it. This again is a picture of the Detroit plans. Okay, here, and it's the point of origin. What do they call it? Point of origin. Campus Mars. Okay. Unconscious symbolism. Unconscious symbolism. That's what this is. With the ring on the top there. The two V's. And then you have your sphere. This is what you're seeing in that I showed you in the church, the dragon eye, but it's the sphere of the earth. And here you've got the V with the ring on top. There's the Chrysler Building. There, symbol. Okay, so now I want to bring you here. Okay, so this is a video that followed the other one. It was like a back-to-back thing. And there's something, you know, it's the detail and how he's describing this event, that what it is that he sees, I believe, in the pictures, or what he's being told by the person that has taken the pictures. And I just thought I'm just going to put this out there. Okay. Again, it was the details, and I really do believe them. But that's me. Okay. Just.
Is what's taking place with the sun. See, they know that. The sun feels completely different and it looks different to them. You are being distracted. They're not.
Living in end times, and I'm one of them. And people believe that we are approaching the apocalypse and that it's imminent. This is a report here from Fox News and Friends. Says a large swath of Americans across the religious spectrum believe they are living in the last days of humanity. A recent study showed nearly 2 in 5 Americans, including both Christians and religiously unaffiliated, responded affirmatively when asked if they believe we are living in the end times, according to a Pew Research study published last month. So my question for you is, the apocalypse approaching? Are we living in end times? Do you believe we are actually on the road? Roger Stone says there's a, quote, demonic evil portal.
About the supernatural, there are a lot of people that go, I don't know, that sounds weird to me. You were talking about something extraordinary.
Pay attention.
And I just love you to touch
That wasn't me.
on that subject, because it's at least very interesting.
I think that there has been a portal, a demonic portal, opened above the White House around the time that the Bidens moved in. This was brought to my attention by a Christian who lives in North Florida, who sent me a bunch of photographs and notations in the Bible about portals. And I was like, okay, sure. Okay, appreciate it.
Well, I mean, you should start out by being skeptical.
I was
and
extremely
that sounds insane to me.
Exactly.
But
I was skeptical about it. But I looked at the photos, and you can also, there's a live cam. And there does appear to be something, above the White House.
something inexplicable.
Well, at first you say, well, maybe it's a reflection. Maybe it's an aerostat balloon. Maybe there's a logical. So I called a police officer I know, works in Arlington, a friend of mine. And I said, look, do me a favor, would you get out and check this out? He said, are you out of your mind? I said, no, just humor me, just humor me. Go down there and check it out and call me back and tell me what you see.
Right.
And take photos. Then he called me back about 2.5 hours later and he said, you're not going to believe this, but there's definitely something there. And it's there. He said, other people were there photographing it. One man called and said, you can see it day or night. It's like a smudge in the sky, almost like a cloud that doesn't move. But when you zoom in on it with a telephonic lens, it's swirling like a cauldron.
Now, wait a minute. So this is like, what, 8 months ago?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a cop.
Pay attention.
Telling you that.
That's not me. Okay, so what I did here is I blocked out the sun, of course, and this is just a negative. I just pushed the negative button, and this is the spiral that was over my house in 2015. And he's absolutely right. It's not something that you can see with your naked eye. It was something that I had to see through the camera. And even with me looking at the camera right on, you've seen the spiral, you've seen this, absolutely. I knew that it was there, and there was something like this. This was like just kind of, it was thicker. It wasn't part of this here, and there was something coming out of it. So it did seem like a cloud just kind of hovering, but so how he described it was how I would describe the same way of what I see here. Okay, this is in color again. This is just the lighting to bring out the lining here. Again, the sun, right? And I believe that this is what they were looking at over the White House. So I kind of believe in what he had to say there. All right, everybody, I had to walk away a little bit there for a couple of days. I'm not doing very well. I don't know exactly what's going on. I really don't want to get into it. So you're going to hear I'm very shallow in my breath, in my breathing. And I sound tired, but it's not that I'm tired. It's just a symptom. So I'm working on it. And like I said, I just want to move on and really share this, because this has been just exploding in front of me. It's been very active here, and I'm just trying to get this out under the weather, under how I've been feeling physically, and it's been a true battle. Okay, so here I'm going to really try hard to make sure that you understand where this is all coming from. I know you don't understand a little bit here and there. You will, okay? It will come together. Now, again, I just want to say that this was something I did 3 years ago, where I had walked the river and I showed everybody. It was about the Renaissance. It was about the revival, of the underworld. So I was just showing the Windsor side of it. And now, because of what's going on and what's being said, and because of the verse and just shying away, everything seems to be, again, coming back to everything that I had spoken about 3 years ago. So there's information here that is new, and I'm looking at that new information. I'm not going to repeat anything here. So here, I would just like to point out what's new here is that I'm looking at the 8 triads. These 8 triads are the weapon of Shiva. They are the guardian of the underworld, okay? And I'll get a little into that. I'll read that out. And this is what's new, okay? And it was when I went over to Detroit and I started looking at the buildings, and I found there was a building there called the Guardian. And I knew that it was related to this one here because on the top of the building, it was an 8-pointed star. So right there, I made the connection, keep going, okay? So I'm looking at this 8-pointed star, and they're explaining that they had like a prism, like a rainbow colors shoot up into space, as far as space or something along those lines. And this is what they did with this 8-pointed star. This rainbow is the goddess Iris. I don't know if you know if that's what, you know, this prism, this rainbow that they from one end to the next. This is the goddess Iris. Okay, I want to show you something here. Now, I'm really hoping that you can see at least some of this stuff that I put here. I'm going to really try to work something out here that I can just download this where you guys can download it, you know, like these pictures, because they're, you know, they're not anything like what I'm saying here that you're seeing. They're very clear, okay? I'm sorry about this, but anyway, here we go. So here's the building right here. It's called the Guardian. Here's the Windsor portal that I just showed you right here, okay? The A triad point right here. This is the building right across the river. This is Michigan, okay? And it's the Guardian building, 8-pointed star-shaped spires. Okay, so the sky fountain is what they call it, consists of 8 colored searchlights that revolved simultaneously in opposite directions while oscillating vertically. The colors of the rainbow were literally beamed into space, symbolism of the rainbow and the rainbow bridge. Okay, here we have the sphere. We have the triads right here. There's a 9-11. This would be 10-10. I'll be going into that. Again, we have them here at the tower. I'll be going back to this. Also, I wanted to read this. The Sumerians used an arrangement of lines as symbol for both star and God. The linear 8-pointed star also represents the goddess Inanna, Sumerian queen of the heavens, Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess known as the light bringer. So what secrets are being protected by the guardians of the gate? Okay. And I just couldn't get over, like I had to do this, you know, with Jonathan Kleck's earphones there. Really, you know. And then here we had in 2015, this is a congressman, I believe, and he's standing there and he's got the same nose. I really don't know. Like, seriously, oh, so sorry. Okay, so getting back on track. Now here, it was the 8 star. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Okay, this really got to me. It really did. Now, I'm still in Detroit, and I'm going through the riverside here, okay? And in this park, it's called the Hart Plaza. Again, this is Jonathan Kleck's, you know, his portal, okay? It's his heart, right? It's a heartbeat. And here we have the Babel tower right here, okay? And I'll show this a little later on. And then you've got the pyramids also. So there's a lot of symbology here. There's a lot of it, okay? And again, this is the stones and all of this that I was saying a little earlier that I was picking up along the way when I was in the, you know, learning about Nimrod and Noah and that sort of thing. Okay, so here they're showing the pyramids there. Again, you know, this a sacred symbol of the Nuit, you know, so. Oh, where is it? Okay, so this is a diagram that they said that it was the plans for 1807. Okay, this was it here, and you could see the masonry here, and this was the Detroit River, and here it is right there, smack right there in the middle of Detroit, right? Okay, so this is the symbolism and everything that goes along the rivers, or the river, okay. So in that last video that I showed you, it was about a 4-minute video, was the original video. And what happened was I watched it, and I saw the star here, but it was on a globe, which is the sphere, and then it had the, you know, this here with the octagonal around this the star, and on it it said that Canada was on the top of that star, and so I really was curious. So what I did is I found the map. I went over and I looked to see what was on the top of that star where he was saying Canada. He even says on the side of it, Egypt, wicked or evil Egypt on the side. And I didn't go that far with it. And so what happened was I just go to the map, I find it, and what do I see but Labrador Sea? Well, right there, my heart just, I knew instinctively the answer to the dog, okay, which I'll be going into a little later. So for me, this was a location. This is something to do with the location because of the Labrador Sea being the lab that was really following me, like it was a Labrador. I kept saying, you know, like this dog is a lab. It looks like a Labrador, a lab. And when I took the picture in 2015, to me, it was a lab, okay? But that was a picture that I just snapped. I just put it up there and I snapped it. And when I'm looking at the Labrador Sea and the name, then I heard invisible waters. And I went, exactly. I mean, it's the clouds, right? Invisible waters. So again, I'm being now convinced that I'm right where I'm supposed to be standing. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And when I said that, I remember saying to myself, well, I'm right in my vision, you know, what was given to me at the age of 12. So I got to keep going, right? So I keep moving forward along these lines, right? So I'm looking at Canada, I'm looking at the lab, the dogs, and I'll explain all that as we go along. Okay, so I go back to Detroit, right? And I see this here. Okay, so just to show you that in the last video, what I was saying, where it was all lined in, where they were lining it, okay, with the lines, it was right here. And this was Canada on the top. And then we had Labrador over off to the side. Okay, so just to give you a little bit more evidence that, yes, this is all of the same thing going on here. But I wanted more attention here paid to Labrador Sea because it is a true fingerprint here. Okay. Okay, I want to read this real quick, and it's about the Rainbow Bridge. It's about the rainbow that Jonathan is so, you know, big about here. Okay. Symbolically, there is a rainbow bridge between the earthly and heavenly realms, humanity, and the gods and goddesses. And we know that we've already read a little bit about how the rainbow is also a goddess, the goddess Iris, or Iris, I think. That departs Detroit, point of origin, through a glass pentacle-shaped pyramid, identical to the pyramid on Mars, for a pentagonal-shaped building in location that was once proposed to be in the heart of Woodward's pentagram street layout, and out from Freedom, is suited out in her spiritual suit of armor atop a star-studded ziggurat guarding the corridor between the campus Mars and Hart Plaza, Stargate, Detroit. So again, this is the bridge, right? It's from one end to the other, and this is what it means. It means a bridge, okay, between earthly and heavenly realms, and gods and goddesses here. Okay. So I gotta go back here. Okay, so here these are the triads at the towers, at the tower, the Freedom Tower, at the Trade Center. Okay, memorial, huh? Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me just read this out. Okay, the triad guardian the gates of the underworld at the 9/11 memorial. When looking upon a weapon of Shiva, the Trishula is said to destroy the three worlds. The physical world, the world of the forefathers, representing culture drawn from the past, and the world of the mind, representing the process of senses, sensing and acting. The three worlds are supposed to be destroyed by Shiva into a single non-duality plane of existence. On December 21st, 2012, the Earth entered into a new place in space. We entered into the age of Aquarius. The age of the symbol is certainly about 3 into 1, the Trinity, Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, all separate but yet one. Their goal to destroy what God has made, to sustain the spell cast on humanity, to blind and to deceive them and create the complete order of Satan. You know that shush thing, right? Okay, so this is the many become one. The many become one, hence one World Trade Center. On September 11th, 2011, there was an energy shift in the spiritual world, the unveiling of the twin tridents on the 10th year anniversary of 9/11 at Ground Zero. The energy of the Earth Shaker, God of cities and water, and Shiva, the God of transformation. The twin tridents also symbolize the number 33, standing next to each other, completion and transformation. Millions of eyes were upon these triads on 9/11 at the same time. That is why it is called an unveiling. The millions more for years to come. This is our new reality. The goal is collective consciousness. That's why the new skyscraper is called One World Trade Center. Okay, I think this is an interesting read anyway. I think it wouldn't waste any of your time if you were to go through it. This here is coming from Jonathan Kleck, I believe, because when I read down here, okay, One World Freedom Tower exposed crowning the tyrant, Jonathan Kleck. Okay, here, Islamic Prayer Tower. All right, and I believe that the Jonathan Kleck, I don't think it's on anymore, but anyway, I do agree that I think that they do look very similar to the Islamic prayer tower. And this also looks like that pencil one time I pointed out on a newscast in the background. And I said, boy, does that ever look like a pencil? And here we have it right there. And then we have, as far as the tyrant goes, when it comes to Nimrod and me finding out all of what was going on at that time and who he was in the bloodline. Here we had the two birds, which is again a hunter. This is the jaguar. This was really interesting. I just don't have time to get into it right now, but again, this is what I believe, that now when I look at it, I can see actually that it's Babylon that is sitting on a complete tower that is complete. It's the Tower of Babel, and it's complete. It's been completed. And then you're crowned with Babylon, which is today's Iraq. And for me, that makes so much sense, because in the Bible, it says that it will be, well, think about it. The Babylon was the first kingdom for Nimrod, right? Check this out. Here, the first and second temple in Jerusalem, as well as the twin towers, were all destroyed at the same number, 9/11, which I've been saying is Genesis 10:10, which is Nimrod's first kingdom. And then here, the kingdom that the tower was never completed. And then he went on to do Nineveh. Okay, so what does it say in the Bible about Nineveh that is going to come back? Nineveh will come back and judge this generation, because Nineveh was judged the same, and they all bowed. They all repented. This is why Nineveh is going to be judging this generation. And if we look at who built Nineveh, we can see Nimrod. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation. and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Hearken unto me, you ye stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. I bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry, and I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Isaiah 46. Iris is represented as a rainbow, a goddess. Iris is associated with communication, message, rainbow, and new endeavors. The purification of a rainbow was once described as being a link to the heavens and earth. Abraham, the shared prophet of the religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, lived in Sumerian city of Ur. Ur revealed early use of the eight-pointed star, often in the form of an eight pentacle in jewelry and decorations. The Sumerians used as an arrangement of lines as a symbol for both star and God, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. And here we have the Rainbow Bridge. Genesis 9:16, and the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. God bless the edges, and God bless the Sullivans and the horse stranger and their houses. But here is the bridge. This is their goddess, and here where God says, in the bow, and the bow shall be in the cloud. Okay, I only have a few minutes, so I'm just going to end it with this here. Now, I was putting this together along with Kathy, and Kathy did a little design as far as concerning Aleister Crowley and Adolf Hitler here, and she put the one B upside down and the other, same as the symbol as Jonathan Kleck. I just want to go over the numbers really quick with you here. I know that I don't talk about numbers, I don't get too involved, but this was really standing out and just needs to be said on record. So we have the two V's, we have the one upside down, so we've got 9-9, right? Then we've got the 9-6, the one that's reversed. We've got 5 plus 4, which is 9. Okay, we got the 4 in the middle with the 5. All right, the upside down and the okay. So now we've got 5, 9 plus 6. Okay, we've got the 15, the Aleister Crowley, the Mass. Then when we find the 18 is with the 9 and the 9, 1 plus 8, 9, we have 999. Here's the witch that you see in the Jesus that he made. Okay, this is what he was been very proud of. Okay, well, this is the witch here that I pulled out of that. Okay, and then we have a few things here, like the lion that looks like a sleeping lion here, the witch, we have a serpent right here, the upside down frog, and the demon, the man with two faces. Okay, so there's a lot being said over here. Again, the numbers, they really stuck out. I don't know if they mean anything, but there they are. And then right in the middle, you have the sphere of the world. And this is all over. I'm finding it all over the place. Okay. Again, it's just a little something I again put together here. Again, this is the Detroit City Plans in 1807 here. Again, this is over my house in 2015. The Transcending, this is what it's called here. Okay. Again, this is the bridge. This is the Google bridge. This is the frog, the winking frog. Again, this is Babylon. This is Iraq. You have the swirl with the river right there. Again, this is Travis Scott with the dart in the back. He was doing the whole Moses, the 10 Commandments. And this is Jonathan Kleck over here. This is Jonathan Kleck where he's wearing the wedding band. And this is again his picture of good and evil, I guess, here. Portraying it as Mickey Mouse, but actually it's a frog.